So it looks like Adrian Veidt is trying to make an omelet of escape, but you can't make an omelet without a very messy first step. Let's get started. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Thumb Together TV. My name is Andrew Fantasia, and today we're going to be talking about Watchmen Episode 4 together. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button as well. It turns out I was kind of right last week. Adrian Veidt is, in fact, trapped somewhere in some kind of snow globy bubble. I'm still holding out hope that it's on Mars, because that means Dr. Manhattan's around messing up his plans. Now, the only wrench in this thought process here is that he says he's been there for 4 years. That's weird. And it's weird because Watchmen happened 34 years ago. So, for 30 years he was just running around willy-nilly, just doing whatever he pleased. What did he do 4 years ago that made somebody decide, okay, we gotta lock this psychopath up? I guess that's left to be discovered, but whatever he did, it must have been even worse than what he did in Watchmen. But let's talk for a minute about exactly what Adrian Veidt's got going on here, because every time we see him, his story gets more and more disturbing. He's got a swamp full of human fetuses. He's growing clones in a swamp, and I don't know how to feel about that. His scenes are definitely the most darkly comic stuff you will probably see on television right now. What it's building up to, we can only venture outlandish guesses, but man, Lindelof, you really took this theme of Veidt being an unhinged mad doctor and just ran with that, sir. Wherever you're going with it, I hope it pays off, because we are in the middle of a fetus swamp, and I don't know where you can go from there. Now, let's talk for a second about this mysterious new character we met, Lady Trieu. Her daughter was the one we saw in episode 2, so I guess I was kind of on the ball there. Last time when I was talking about episode 2, I said, I want to know what this girl's deal is, and turns out, yes, she does in fact have a deal, and it's kind of important to the central story. It wasn't just a random scene of a girl buying a newspaper, which is what it felt like at the time, and in Watchmen, I'd be like, okay, whatever, it's a random person buying a newspaper. This show is clearly operating on a different wavelength than the rest of us, so fine. There's just a random girl buying a newspaper. But she's not random. She's the daughter of Lady Trieu, and apparently they don't age? I don't know. I was a bit iffy on this, because in that opening scene with the farmers, Lady Trieu comes in and offers them a baby and all that jazz. She's buying the land, and then obviously she constructed on that land, because you see a little passage of time. Now, how long did that construction take? I'm assuming years. Construction is kind of slow. If you don't believe me, come to the Greater Toronto Area, and you will. We don't really get a clear answer as to when that scene took place, and when we see them again in the present, both Lady Trieu and her daughter look exactly the same as they did in the opening. I don't know what their story is, but they're not of this earth, I think. There's something wonky going on with them. And whatever it is Lady Trieu wants, whether it has to do with that meteor, whatever that meteor could be, again, if we don't know when that scene takes place, I can't really venture a guess as to what the meteor is. If this takes place in the 90s, it could be Halley's Comet for all I know. Who knows? But it was important to her somehow, to the point where she wanted that land enough to get it. And since she knew it was coming, it's probably a safe bet that she was a time traveler or something. But I'm just going to leave that on the table for now. And she's working with William. Again, we don't know what he wants either, but he's a big fat liar, because he can stand perfectly fine without that wheelchair. So we got a bunch of liars, potential time travelers, construction people making things big clocks because they want a meteor to fall. It is very Watchmen-y. I'll give it that. You got me, Lindelof. Every episode I'm getting more and more into this tapestry that you're unfolding before my very eyes. And now Laurie Blake is in charge of the police department. Makes sense. Judd is a dead body, so somebody's got to fill the gap. But now she is really taking over the investigation, and she just continues being really snarky and rude to everybody. And I kind of just want Sister Night to put her in her place. I think that whatever she wants, though, whatever Laurie's motivations are irrelevant. I think she's just sort of past the point where she cares. She's just like, yeah, I'm just doing my job now. Seeing Dr. Manhattan again is what she wants, but whether or not she gets that is not going to affect the story. Maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe Lindelof will pull some old switcheroos on us and make the irrelevant seem relevant again. But right now, I'm really not invested in her. I'm more invested in Sister Night. That hologram of the family tree that Sister Night goes to visit is probably the coolest piece of otherworldly tech / world building that we have seen in this universe all throughout the 4 episodes so far. The idea of just this big hologram and you can like tap it and be like, oh, here's a branch, put in this acorn with like your DNA in it or something, and the branch tells you who your grandfather is and you can click on him and stuff. Can that be real? Please? Can that be a thing? I wanna click on hollow branches and find out if I was related to Leonardo da Vinci or something. I want that. Let me have that. Somebody make that a thing. It's probably already a thing, but you have to, be like Jeff Bezos or some garbage to be able to afford it. No, just make it a public thing like it is here. Please and thank you. So that was Watchmen episode 4, which was called, wow, I think it was the longest title yet. It was called If You Don't Like My Story, Write Your Own. Whatever you say, Lindelof, I'm just rolling with it at this point. But that was the episode. Tell me what you guys thought. I think my theories still stand in regarding Mr. Veidt. He is trapped, and my money's on Mars, baby. How he gets out is anybody's guess, but I look forward every week to that little tangent where we get to go see what shenanigans Veidt is up to this time. And will he ever finish that cake? Because that was a big cake, and he just keeps slicing his way through it piece by piece. That cake's gonna spoil, man. Finish it. Or wrap it up in like a Tupperware container. Do something with the cake. Anyway, that is Watchmen. I'm Andrew Fantasia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you here next time. And until then, adios.